Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sorry to keep you waiting. I was lost in the world. I had to get my mind right and ready for the limelight, homie.
I'm your host. Oh, and now we're recording. Okay.
Lit. How you doing?
You're now tuned into another episode of The Elite. I'm your host, Marcq. I'm here with my partner, Chad.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Well, we got a lot of stuff to get into today, and I know this is something you were adamant about before we got on. So let's go ahead and talk about the Dodgers winning the World Series, man.
Well, first off, man, how you doing? How you doing this week, man? How you been?
Oh, I'm living life to the fullest, bro.
How's the kid? How's the kids?
Growing like trees.
Quick, huh?
Oh yeah,
it's crazy, man. Like I said, one day I'll be there, but for right now, man, we okay.
Yeah, you need to join the Fathers Club, son.
Negatory. I'm a coach a team before I let my son play one. But nah, seriously. Getting into the Dodgers game, man. Let's first off, as much as I hate to say this, congratulations to the Dodgers on a tremendous year. 2020 is a short season. 60 games, extended teams in the playoffs. You guys really put in hard work to get to where you were. So congratulations. I got to give it up to Corey Seager. He was the World Series MVP. Phenomenal player. 11 home runs, 20 RBIs, second most in the World Series era, right behind David Freese back in 2011 with 21. So big shout out to both of them. First off, I want to talk about is Blake Snell getting pulled in the 6th inning after allowing no runs and 2 hits. I know I've been laughing so hard this week, man. They've been changing everything up, saying how the Dodgers MVP is Kevin Cash, which is the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, because he blew that for them. His reasoning behind pulling Snell was to have a pitcher come in and get out of the situation because he didn't want Blake Snell to face the lineup for a third time. Marcus, let me ask you a question. You coach it. You a coach, okay? You in the World Series. It is the most important do or die game of your life. You haven't won a World Series ever in your franchise's history. You're up 1-0. Right. Your pitcher has 9 strikeouts, only allowed 1 hit. Okay. He gives up a second hit. Leadoff man's coming up. It's Mookie Betts. Are you going to pull him, who's already struck out to him twice this game?
No. I'm really not going to pull him because I don't know if you knew this, and I did some reading today. Did you know Mookie Betts specifically struggles with left-handers?
Trust me, I watched him when he played for the Red Sox 2 years ago. When he beat the Dodgers 2 years ago in the World Series, he couldn't hit Kershaw to save his life. The only time he ever got to Kershaw was a lead-changing home run in Game 6, and that was the only time he ever touched Kershaw the entire World Series. So I've known he's been struggling with left-handers. You got to think. So looking back at it, the top 3 batters, Mookie, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, they were 0 for 6 the whole game going into the 5th inning. Right. All 6 with strikeouts, all 6 at bats. But you don't want your best pitcher who's dealing your game.
My man was
to
destroying the lineup.
I mean, dude, I've never seen such poor management in my life.
You think he's going to lose his job now?
No.
No. You think he's still going to be there?
He'll be fine. Just because he is the first manager in a long time to get them there. But he definitely, like, even Blake Snell came out with saying that he was disappointed and upset that he got pulled. I feel bad for him.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, there's nothing that you can really say to change that outcome. I mean, the only thing you can do really is leave him in. Leave him in, Kevin.
He's talking straight to you.
Leave him in. Like I said, man, I honestly just don't know what he was thinking. It's rough It's I wouldn't know what to do, man. If I was the manager of that team, I pull this guy and we go down 2 runs.
Immediately.
Like literally 2 batters later, we're down 2 runs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do.
I'll be if I was on the team, I'd be throwing a fit. Like, why are you taking my dude out? Like
I'm moving my house. I'm closing my PO box, my mailbox, because I'm going to receive death threats from the entire Tampa. Not even just Tampa. I'm gonna get death threats from the entire world that didn't want the Dodgers to win. I mean, everybody was so excited. Bro, but you got to think. Okay, so the way that I think that this happened, honestly, I think that they were handed it to them. And the only reason why
absolutely.
the only reason why I say that is because the cheater scandal with the Houston Astros last year. But what you didn't know, 2018 cheater scandal, Boston Red Sox, World Series champions 2018. Houston Astros 2017. So back-to-back years, they were hit with scandals. So, 3 out of the 4 tries over the last 5 years, the Dodgers have lost except for this year. So, if anything else is ever going to be served on a silver platter for anyone, it would have been them this year.
Wow, that's a hot take. So you're saying that the Dodgers got served up?
Bro,
World Series.
you don't just pull your star pitcher when he gives up his second hit of the entire game.
Wow, that is
you don't just pull, bro. Okay, think about this. You're a Ravens fan. You're down 7. You're driving down the field. You're on the 50-yard line. All you gotta do is get in field goal range or get into the end zone. You pull Lamar for Trace McSorley to go win you the game. How stupid do you look?
Oh, you look like you've been doing crack.
That's what I'm saying. But
to keep it frank, like
it's the same concept.
No way.
You're not gonna pull your star player, like even with Tampa. Say Tom Brady just wants to sit. You're not gonna let him sit. Much to win you those games. Going into the Super Bowl. Oh, I don't want to play in the Super Bowl.
Nah.
No. You're playing. We're winning.
It don't work. Like
what do I have to do to get you to play? I mean, honestly, that's just how I'm seeing it. You don't pull your star players because you don't want him to face the lineup a third time. That the dumbest comment I've ever heard. I played baseball for a really long time. If my pitcher, like I've played on teams, if the pitcher's doing good, you leave them until they figure out how to hit them. You leave them. So what? He gives up a single. Okay, you pulled him. Mookie Betts hits a double. Corey Seager single down the line. Mookie scores. You now it's 1-1. Justin Turner comes up, hits a double. Seager scores. Now you're down 2-1. And what are you going to do? You're going to rely on your bullpen to hopefully. I mean, you got to rely on the rest of your bats and your bullpen to pull this out for you. But even if, 2-1 game going into the bottom of the 8th.
Right.
Fairbanks has not dealt well against the Dodgers the entire World Series. You put in Fairbanks, Mookie Betts takes you deep left field. You lost it at that point. You're done. That is the knife in the back. You're done. There's no looking back. And that's just how I see it, man. I don't. It's just hard to wrap my head around, what happened. On a side note, though, I do want to talk about how Randy did a front flip around third base to win that game. On a lighter note, man, I've seen some crazy plays, man, but I've never seen somebody do a front flip around at third base and still score. But no, man, that's my take. Again, congratulations to the Dodgers. You guys.
It's a hot take.
Exactly, and I got more to say, man. But we're gonna be here for hours.
Oh yeah.
But again, congratulations. You guys did it this year. Don't think you're gonna get past the Braves next year. We're coming back hot and heavy. Be prepared.
With that being said, congratulations again to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Speaking of LA, since the city of angels, the Dodgers won a chip this year. And as you know, as we discussed last episode, the Lakers won the NBA championship in the bubble.
Yep.
What is it going to mean if the city of LA wins a championship in all three major sports, basketball, football, and baseball?
The world's going to end. Honestly, nah. I mean, it's. I think the Rams do deserve redemption after the 13-3 loss against the Patriots back in 2016. Was it?
It was 13-10. They scored a touchdown, but Patriots defense got to stop.
That's what I'm saying. I think they do deserve redemption. After watching them Monday night against the Bears, shutting the Bears down to 3 points the entire game, Aaron Donald looks tremendous. That entire defense, secondary and all, looked phenomenal.
Cannot be slept on. Cannot be slept on.
Jared Goff, he is looking better. He is definitely showing maturity as an NFL quarterback. I think this is his 4th year, if I'm not mistaken, 4th or 5th year in the league. And I mean, he is looking phenomenal. So I'm definitely excited. Our run game is strong. Daryl Henderson is looking fantastic. Jared Goff with his wideouts, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. It's all clicking on all cylinders, man. I'm definitely excited.
It's definitely just to bring you back into reality real quick. It'll be a great thing if the City of Angels won 3 championships and of course all 3 major sports. But the Rams by far had the toughest task amongst them. Lakers obviously had the cakewalk, but the Rams, it'll be a stretch for them to get to the Super Bowl this year. But
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. They are in probably one of the hardest divisions in football now.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, rolling into Week 8 with everybody above 500, that is tough.
That is crazy.
And I mean, honestly, with this extended playoffs, man, there is a chance that all 4 of them make it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I forgot it. They do have the extended playoffs this year.
Yeah, they're adding, I think, 2 more teams to each AFC and NFC.
I thought it was one extra because the number 1 seed only has the bye now.
Oh, okay. So then, so they're adding the 1. So still, I mean, you got to think you got your 2 wild card spots, and then
now a third,
and then the extra. I mean, you could literally have that entire division in the playoffs.
True. I guess in due time we'll see as the season progresses. Next, I don't know if you saw it this week, but AB officially signs with Tampa Bay. I know I said that automatically makes them Super Bowl contenders.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think AB is actually going to show up and perform for the Tampa Bay Bucks like he's supposed to instead of causing drama?
It's going to be tough. Like we spoke on a couple episodes ago. He throws tantrums. I mean, as you per se, like a child, when he's not receiving his touches. That's why he left Pittsburgh. That's why he couldn't get really along with the Patriots offense because they were so, back, a couple of years back, they were run set heavy, and Edelman flat was the star of the show. And he goes out to Oakland, and I mean, just immediately argues with the owner. So it's gonna be definitely different to see how he fares when it's multiple people getting touches versus just him.
It'll definitely be interesting to see because up to this point, Tom Brady has been the only one welcoming him with open arms. As you said, even in New England, like he was doing good at first. He got onto the field, got a couple catches and a score in, I think. But we all knew Edelman was the number 1 receiver per se for Tom Brady at the time.
Absolutely, him and Gronk. Edelman and Gronk were such a big part of that New England offense. I mean, that's all that he really needed. He didn't need that extra speed and extra back, deep ball. Tom Brady isn't built for the deep ball,
Not at all. He
and
hasn't
that's
been
what
built for the deep ball in a while.
that's what AB likes to that's what AB likes to run. Now if he can find a way, like if him and Godwin do some nice crosses in the slot routes, I can definitely see it happening. Other than that, man, it's going to be tough because Mike Evans, he's a big target. Chris Godwin,
Absolutely.
he's a big target. O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, huge targets. I mean, like I said, where does that leave? Where does that leave AB? I mean,
it's going to be tough, but I think Tom Brady and them can get it done. But it's not going to be easy. I can tell you that much. He's definitely going to take a couple weeks to get acclimated to their system and how they do things around there. And he has to understand that they have to have something in the contract saying you have to behave a certain way, or you have to stay out of the media's point of view or media's eye.
I mean, honestly,
with your antics.
With Bruce Arians, man, he didn't really put up with a lot of stuff. Because back in Arizona, when Tyrann Mathieu had that big fit, Tyrann Mathieu was gone.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, he definitely doesn't put up with it, and I don't think he will here. He's got a good coaching. He's got a good coaching staff behind him. I mean, I don't know if AB's brain's okay. Maybe he just needs to get jarred around a couple times, let the bolts get back into place. But hopefully, like I said, man, it works out for the best. I'd hate to see Tom Brady back in the Super Bowl again, man. But the way it's looking, it's going to be an awesome playoffs to watch him in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now while we're on the subject of football, we're to review this week's past games. Now last week, I don't know if y'all heard, but me and Chad made some picks. Chad, you came out 9-4, and I came out 10-3. Now,
the only one I shouldn't have lost, honestly, was the Rams Chicago game, because I definitely expected Chicago to do better than they actually did. But I mean,
yeah, I'm with you there.
Like that one was just that was a bad pick by me, honestly. But again, also Houston with Green Bay, that was a bad pick for me as well. But hey, man, you live and you learn. Houston's not playing the best they could be. They lost Bill O'Brien, fired him. So
I don't know if that was a loss. I think they just retired his stuff. He should have been fired after the DeAndre Hopkins trade.
Oh, absolutely. I would have fired him.
You should have got him.
As soon as DeAndre Hopkins' name came across the table, I would have fired him. Excuse me. What?
Like that phone call would have never been made to Arizona.
Exactly, and not for David Johnson, bro. Like, out of all people, you could have picked up David Johnson.
You know what I equate that trade to? I don't know if you remember way back when it was like, this is right after Shaq had got traded from the Lakers. The Grizzlies traded Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown off the Lakers. And if you remember Kwame Brown, anybody who's a basketball fanatic, he was absolute trash. Absolute trash. I'm not even joking. If it was
no, absolutely. I know. I know, bro, and that's why I'm just laughing, bro, because I know. I mean, like I said, you've seen some dumb trades, man. You've seen some good trades, but that one I think tops the list at all-time worst trade.
Absolutely, he was.
He
was on something that day.
You're going to pick up a 2-star running back for a 5-star receiver.
Yep.
And the only way that you were winning games was Deshaun to DeAndre Hopkins, and Will Fuller felt better about playing beside him.
Exactly.
Now, granted, they do have Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb's not DeAndre Hopkins. No.
But that dude ain't been relevant since he left Green Bay.
Exactly.
Honestly, he went to Dallas. His career kind of just down the drain.
I feel like if you go to Dallas,
left Dallas, stayed in Texas, went to Houston, and just can't revive a career when you're losing.
And in all fairness, he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball anymore.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, Dak's a great quarterback, man, but you can't. The reason they got Amari Cooper was for Dak. You can't share the love when you got Amari Cooper. I'm sorry, that dude is a fantastic receiver. He just does not drop many passes.
No. I give you credit, but he was nice in college at Alabama. He didn't perform all that well outside of his rookie season in Oakland, but he's definitely showing what he can do down there in Dallas. What are some of your takeaways from this week's past games? Ooh.
I mean, where do we want to start? Do we want to start with everybody that lost the comebacks, or do we want to start with what teams we see going into the playoffs? I mean, honestly, starting off. Dude, okay. I'm gonna throw this out there. I saw a TikTok today, man. I never laughed so hard in my life. The dude like literally kicks open the bathroom. He's like, I'm gonna start this off right. The Jets suck. And he just went down the list, bro. He was like, the Jets suck. The Dolphins suck. He said, bro, the Falcons suck. And oh my god, dude, it was the funniest thing I'd ever saw. But honestly,
Falcons do suck.
Honestly, man, after watching Sunday's game, because I did get to catch the last 2 minutes of that Atlanta-Detroit game. Wow, what can you say, man? Todd Gurley tripping and trying to stop his momentum on the goal line. Like bro, he's like 230 pounds of pure speed. You're not gonna be able to just stop on a dime like that.
No, it don't work like that.
And if you were going to fall, honestly, if I was him and I was going to fall, switch the ball. Why you got the ball in your left hand still?
He wasn't thinking.
Because that's what I mean. If he fell where he was with the ball in his right hand, you're on the 1 yard line. You're going to win that game. But you fell, ball's in your left hand. You crossed the goal line. You blew it.
You blew it, bud.
So, but I got to give it up to Matthew Stafford. That dude drove down the field like no other and won that game for them. Honestly, even fighting the penalties, his big, tight end getting out of bounds, fighting to get the spikes down. I got to give him a huge amount of credit for winning that game.
Absolutely. Now, while we're on the Falcons, it's my personal opinion. It's time to blow the Falcons up. It's time for another change. Like, Matt Ryan's not what he's not that MVP that he once was. The only asset I say you do keep is Julio Jones, because you're not going to find another receiver, even in the draft, with his experience and with his ability to just go up and get it.
Well,
physical receiver. Like you're not going to find a replacement for him.
Honestly, they have one of the best wide receiver duos in the league, besides a few teams. But you got to think, man, Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones have put up numbers beyond expectations together. Because both receivers, without a doubt, can get 100 yards a game. Easy. Calvin Ridley, he's fast, he's agile. I mean, in the blink of an eye, that dude's running 78 yards down the field. Julio Jones. I mean, he'll moss 4 people to catch a ball. And that's why, honestly, it's what makes them such a good dynamic duo, is because you have speed and power combined into one. And I mean, like I said, Matt Ryan isn't in his prime anymore. No. But he is distributing the ball so well to his teammates. They're making him look good.
Sure. But it's still just my take. I think after that epic collapse in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, where they were up 23-3.
It was 28-3. It was a 25-point blowout.
Mm-hmm. All they had to do was run the ball. They couldn't do it. They start turning the ball over, make stupid decisions. Now, granted, it's not all the players' fault, but ever since that Super Bowl collapse, the only person that's been absolutely consistent to me, in my eyes, has been Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Ryan has fallen down. As you saw, they got rid of Devontae Freeman, and Mohamed Sanu, both who were a part of that Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
Like it's the head coach is no longer there. I say it's time to start at least looking towards the future and start making some changes. If not during this season, definitely this upcoming offseason. Changes need to be made in Atlanta.
Who's their backup quarterback? Do we know?
I do not know.
Give me 1 second. I'm looking this up now. I'm curious because I just want to see if they have a chance to really. It's Matt Schaub. I lied. All right, so the thing you got to do, man, you definitely got to go for a quarterback in the draft. If not this year, next year. Maybe if Trevor Lawrence stays in Clemson, if the Jets tank this whole season, he stays. Maybe tank the 2022 season, man. Go for Trevor Lawrence. But you definitely. You're not really gonna. If Matt Ryan gets hurt, man, you got Matt Schaub. I've known that dude's name like 7 years. But honestly, bro, I wasn't expecting it. I literally, when I just Googled backup, I was like, I saw Matt Schaub, and I literally closed out of it so fast. I don't think I've ever closed out of a page so fast. Gurley, a great pickup. Gurley is a fantastic running back. He is just so. I say he is just so injury prone. It hurts me. Being a Rams fan, I love seeing him with the Rams, man, but he just couldn't stay healthy. He couldn't stay healthy in the Super Bowl. That's why our run game was so bad. The last couple of years, I know why they got rid of him was because of the last couple of years. He was just constantly on the bike, couldn't stay healthy, couldn't keep his hamstrings healthy. So it's definitely, it's a good pickup, man. It's a good revital to his career, but you're 1-6, man. You're not. You gotta get a new defensive coordinator. You gotta get a new defensive backs coach.
Completely rebuild.
There's a lot of things you gotta do for that team.
The only thing you gotta keep is Julio Jones and start from there.
Yeah, honestly. Besides that, takeaways from Sunday, of course, Tampa looks great. Rob Gronkowski is really starting to show out, which is good. I definitely kind of feared with him taking 2 years off what it was going to be like for him.
It looks like he hasn't missed a beat.
Exactly, and that's what's scary. I mean, besides him at 6'5", I mean, you got OJ Howard at 6'5", 280. You have the biggest powerhouse tight end group in the league. It's full of speed and power, and it's scary. I mean, honestly, it is scary.
Let's get into, since we were on the Falcons and their epic collapse. Well, I don't know if you want to call the Seattle loss an epic collapse.
No, but that was a fantastic battle.
Yes, one of the better football games I've seen this year. What are your takeaways from that game?
Dude, honestly, I was speechless. I was watching that game. Man, I was playing Call of Duty, and I was like, I gotta get off, man. I gotta watch the end of this game because I mean, seriously, watching it was Russell scores. You're on your 20. Kyler Murray, 10 plays later, you score, and then Russell goes up 2 scores. You stop him, and then you're back in it. Dude, it blew my mind. It blew my mind how the biggest defense 3 years ago, even though they're hurt, was letting up the big plays. Now, granted, you have Larry Fitzgerald. You have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Christian Kirk. Like, dude, they have so many weapons that it's physically impossible for them to stop everybody at once. DeAndre Hopkins looked fantastic. Larry Fitzgerald, I mean, the dude's like 36, but still has more tackles than drops in his career off interceptions. Oh, side note, DK Metcalf running 99 yards to stop Buda Baker.
Look, that was different. Look, I seen the pick happen, and all I saw was a gray blur go across the screen. I was like, oh God, he's coming. You can't do nothing about this.
Honestly, man, I was watching. Like I said, I was playing Call of Duty. I just happened to look over, and I was like, oh man, Russell Wilson just got intercepted. Oh, that's about to be a 100-yard touchdown. Right. And next, I saw DK just running down the field, chugging like a train, dude. I was like, he's gonna catch him. He's gonna catch him. Oh my God, he caught him, bro. I was Oh, I was wilding, bro. Oh, I was so excited when that happened, man.
That was definitely a play of the year.
Oh
The
yeah, no,
Seahawks.
I don't care. I don't care whatever. You could throw 47 Hail Marys. I'm still putting that at the top of the list.
47 Hail Marys. Oh,
I don't. Aaron Rodgers does it. Does it
only
time
Aaron
and time
Rodgers.
again.
I was gonna say only Aaron Rodgers can do that. Like,
That's what I'm saying. He does it time and time again. So it really wouldn't be surprised me if he just started throwing them left and right.
bomb, just bombs, and they're getting caught. Absolutely. I think with this loss, it brings Seattle back down to earth, but it also exposes them a little bit. Now, granted, this also does, in my opinion, show that Arizona is a legit team. Let's see, there are
4-2.
They're eighth. Their offense is eighth in the league in passing. Top 10 in the league in rushing.
See, the funny thing is, Atlanta is number 3.
In passing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Hold on, let me.
I'm dead.
Sure.
I'm dead serious.
I'm on NFL.com right now.
I'm dead serious. Atlanta's number 3. Because Matt Ryan's has almost 2,000 yards passing this year.
Mistake. I can't count. The Cardinals are not that high up in the passing ranks, but nonetheless, it still does show that the Cardinals are legit. They are not to be ignored.
No.
Like, and that goes back to what you said about the LA Rams. This whole division is tough, and that game definitely showed it. Now with Seattle, I definitely because the trading deadline is coming up the end of next week or sometime next week.
Yeah, I think it's next week. Yeah.
If I'm Seattle, I would make another move for another defensive player because your defense is just not cutting it this year.
Yeah, and you got a lot of people getting injured, a lot of people going out. It's definitely rough. Speaking of stats, man, I just want to throw this out there. Dak Prescott has been out for 3 weeks now, or 2 weeks at least, and he is still 2, 4, 6, 8, number 9 on passing for the year.
No, he's still top 10.
Yes.
That does absolutely no good for the Cowboys though.
No, but that's what's showing you how much of the transition this league is taking into running.
Hey, switching back to running, yes.
Exactly.
That has a lot to do with Lamar. The way Lamar Jackson has changed the league last year and flipped it on his face as well. And then, I'm sorry.
That's ridiculous, man. It definitely. I'm with you on that though. Definitely picking up a defensive player would be good for them. I think they need a good captain on there. That's not
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner, yeah. And Jamal Adams, man, he just can't stay healthy right now. So I can't see him stepping up anytime soon.
Well, hopefully they absolutely need him.
Yeah. Other than that, go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say I'm pulling up scores from last week now because there's one team I do want to get into.
Cleveland.
Honestly, cuss on this podcast.
I have
we cuss on this podcast.
I have one thing to say about Cleveland, man. Baker Mayfield went a perfect 22 for 22 after his first 7 throws. And that by far shows a bigger accomplishment, I think, than most of these quarterbacks have done this season.
Yeah, but it's against the Bengals, though. Don't gas this man up.
It doesn't matter.
Do that.
You know how hard it is to have a perfect QB rating and a perfect passer rating in this league. I don't care. I don't care if you're playing Pee Wee football, man. For you to go perfect 22 for 22 is an achievement in its own. Because who else did it?
He went 22 for 22, and this is after Odell got hurt.
Yeah, the only incompletion he had was the spiked ball that he had to get the game-winning touchdown to Peoples-Jones.
That I will give him that. That pass, you couldn't have thrown that pass any better if it was on a string. That pass was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, It was against the. Not saying he doesn't deserve credit, but let's not overhype Baker Mayfield because he's had it in his career. He's had a good record against the Bengals. And as of right now, the Bengals are obviously in a rebuilding phase. Joe Burrow is a rookie. Their offense isn't really clicking all that good until he himself gets going. They're all relying on a rookie. Their defense ain't jack squat. So let's not gas him up too much.
Like I said, man, I just gotta give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely, no doubt.
And I think they definitely he definitely deserved it this week.
Oh,
I'll rephrase it this week. Because you never know, he'll come out next week, throw 3 interceptions, and then I'll literally destroy his life tomorrow. So
exactly. So it's a roller coaster.
Other than that, man, coming over, let's see, going over Steelers staying undefeated, huge accomplishment. I think this is the first time that they're 6-0 since like 1978 or something in the 70s. So that is a huge accomplishment. And they haven't had a hard road, but they've had a tough road to get there.
Well, the rest I don't think they'll go undefeated for the season, but bare minimum they're going to finish 14-2. Sadly, saying that as a Ravens fan, I'm being realistic. I'm looking at their schedule now. Let's see. Next week they're at Baltimore. I'll say that's a loss. Then they're at Dallas versus Cincinnati, at Jacksonville, against Baltimore again, Washington, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Indy, and then Cleveland to finish the season off. Outside of Baltimore,
sitting right there, that is what, 9 games, and you're looking at a 7-2 record. Oh, maybe a 6-3 record, because I bet you they'll lose to Buffalo. But I say Baltimore takes them down twice. Buffalo takes them down. Other than that, they win every other game.
I'm saying they're going 14-2. Even as a Baltimore fan, I'll acknowledge that we usually split those games, and it's not going to be easy this year because this is Lamar's first time playing Big Ben, and this is Big Ben's first time playing Lamar as well. So we'll just see how that goes. I do agree that Buffalo will beat them. Buffalo is a team not to be slept on, even though they've had their woes.
After that Jets game, man, it's hard to tell. I just don't think Josh Allen was in the right headspace going against the Jets, man. When I looked at it, it was halftime. It was like 6-3. The Jets were up, and I mean they finished at 18-12. It was a field goal fest, and I've never seen that from a top tier team like that.
It's part of the season, though. It has its woes.
You're not wrong.
One thing, the team that I want to focus on, the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, I gotta fire them up real quick.
So we're talking about Andy Dalton's head being left on the field, or or them getting blown out by 20.
They're all of the above. All of the above. Look, I understand it was time for a change with getting rid of Jason Garrett, and y'all are expecting Mike McCarthy because he is a Super Bowl winning head coach. He had success with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. It's time to address the elephant in the room. Clearly, the players aren't feeling him, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, him or his coaching staff. You should have known it was a red flag when he hired Mike Nolan, a dude who's known for defense, but his defenses in the past have sucked. Been out of the league for almost 5-6 years now. Can't get a job as a defensive coordinator, but you bring him on to the Dallas Cowboys. Like, no, I'm not even a Cowboys fan, and I'm starting to feel bad for them to have to watch this monstrosity on the field that they call a football team.
Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I love seeing memes, and there was a meme that popped up. It was Jason Garrett. He had a nice little smile on his face. He said, "Huh, I guess it wasn't me," and I laughed, man. It's one of those things, you have a lot of Cowboys players after games, man, are saying that Mike McCarthy doesn't know what he's doing, and it's definitely being shown. Now, granted, without Dak, it is very tough. Dak threw for 450-yard games.
Yeah,
and then one 500-yard game. Like it's definitely tough without him. But even with just you heard what I said though. You shouldn't have 4 games of over 450 yards.
It's not
That
normal.
that clearly means that you are relying too heavy on the passing game and not enough on your overall offense. You know, you have by far, I'm not going to say he's the best running back, but you have a elite running back in Ezekiel Elliott.
He's not looking like it. That's
No, and that's what I'm saying. I just don't know if it's them not wanting to play for McCarthy or if it's something that had to do due to COVID. But it has definitely not looked like the Dallas team that we have seen in the past.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because I mean, even as much as you hate on Dallas, excuse me, as much as everybody hates on Dallas, Teddy Bridgewater just got sacked for 15 yards. Sorry. Sidetrack. Besides that, like I said, as much as you hate the Cowboys, as much as I hate the Cowboys, as much as the entire world that's not
In
Dallas hates Dallas, you got to give respect where respect is due. Just like I said with a lot of people, man, Dak Prescott has done things that a lot of quarterbacks haven't done. In his mentality,
Sure.
in the game, he has such a strong mindset, and it is definitely shown. But with that devastating ankle injury, I don't see it going as strong as it was again.
As far as what Dallas as a team, when Dak gets back, or
Dak being as elite as he was,
well,
because they're gonna have to. Because you got to think. I mean, fracture, dislocation, and tear.
all in one place.
So, I mean, you had your leg injury. You know, you got plates and screws in your leg. It took you what, a minimum of 6 months recovery.
Yeah.
Plus, at least 6 months physical therapy to get strength back in it.
Oh yeah, it was rough.
I mean, yeah. Like I said, granted, you did blow out your leg a lot worse than he did, but you still got to think, man. You're gonna have to run around constantly on that ankle. I mean, you're gonna have to move 220 pounds down the field like you've been doing, and it's just not. It's not gonna be the same.
Not at all. No. Yeah. Well, Dallas better do something quick. And I say, my prediction: I don't think if McCarthy makes it to the end of the season, he won't be there next year. Guaranteed, he won't be there next year. Absolutely not.
Unless he wins out.
There's no way they're going to win out. Absolutely.
I'm just saying, unless they win out, that's the only way he stays.
Oh, but
or Jerry Jones invites him to dinner again. Who knows?
Well,
who knows?
Chances that happening.
I say it's not looking good. I think Jerry Jones needs to really reconsider what he brought in, and make a huge U-turn.
Something's got to give in Dallas. Like I said, and given the fact they're going to have to pay some of these players next year too, they're going to have to. Something's going to have to shake. Something's going to have to shake. Something's going to have to shake. So.
If he stays, guaranteed the top players in Dallas leave.
Top players is who?
Jalen Smith, gone.
Ooh. That's a.
I
can see that happening.
I think, what is it? Their Pro Bowl, was he left tackle? Gone. I can't think of his name, but he just came back. Gone. Honestly, I think. Was it Heath? Their safety.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Gone.
So basically, their whole defense.
Honestly, I think the big stars on that team, if McCarthy stays, leave.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think one player that will leave is Michael Gallup. He's only got 1 year left on his deal anyway, and he's one of the players that's repeatedly showed that he's not happy with the coaching staff there in Dallas.
Yeah.
He's not a number one receiver, but he can definitely help a team out. Go to Baltimore.
Shoot, I'd like to see him with Galladay in Detroit. After what Galladay did at the end of that game, Dude.
Galladay, that whole game was ridiculous.
And that's
He
what I'm
was
saying.
something
And so many people doubted him a couple of years back because they saying he wasn't strong enough and he wasn't big enough. Dude, I mean, you honestly cannot. You gotta let him be who he is, man.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, he was doing one-handed catch he had while being held. Ridiculous.
Insane.
That sliding catch he had, ridiculous. I mean, dude, honestly, it looks like a young Megatron. Now, nobody will ever step up to Megatron's greatness. But the way that he put the team on his back to win that game, honestly, just looked like a young Megatron.
Oh yeah, respect. Absolute, nothing but respect. Well, let's get into our Super Bowl picks. I know we're at the halfway point in the season. Week 8 is next week, and of course, you got the Thursday night game going. So let's go ahead and get into our Super Bowl picks. Who do you got going to the Super Bowl? I know I got my squad. Let's see what you got, man.
Coming out of the NFC, I got a close race, honestly, between Seattle and Tampa. I think that's going to be your NFC Championship game. I see those two really stepping up big. Because it's not going to be anybody out of the NFC East.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's not going to be anybody there. But honestly, like I said, I do see Tampa and Seattle being in the NFC Championship game. And as much as I would like to see Russell Wilson in there, I think Tom Brady goes back again out of the NFC. AFC.
It's a rough one.
It is. But the way the Titans are playing, I think they do kind of like what they did last year. The Cinderella story, taking down the big teams like they were. I'm not saying they go all the way. I feel like it's probably going to be
championship.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just talking here. Honestly, as I want to see this year, what I want to see a Kansas City Baltimore AFC Championship game. Out of those two young stars, man, I definitely I see Mahomes repeating again to the Super Bowl and hopefully taking down Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, man. I'm gonna give it to the Chiefs this year. Again, like I said, back to back. It's definitely it's a ballpark here. I'm trying to hit my own home runs here, but the way that the season's going, that's kind of what I see happening.
Oh, but I don't know if I agree with I can't agree with you on the Tampa Bay and Seattle and the NFC Championship. I agree, Tampa Bay are Super Bowl favorites, but I can't ignore Green Bay. And I'm gonna put some respect on Arizona's name. Like you can't just. Their division is tough, but with the like we acknowledged earlier, with the playoff seedings expanding by one team, Arizona has a chance to get in and make some and put people on notice per se. But as far as the NFC Championship game goes, I got Green Bay and Seattle. Seattle taking it over Green Bay. At the end of the day, I just think Aaron Rodgers won't have enough weapons like Russell Wilson to get past Seattle, even with Seattle's haphazard defense. So I got Seattle going to the Super Bowl. And as far as the AFC goes, as much as I love my Ravens, as of right now, I don't have them going to the AFC Championship game. Not unless Lamar Jackson improves his passing ability. Because right now, Baltimore is close to the bottom of the league in passing. That's not good if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. He's not Mike Vick. We can't rely on him to just run us there. It's not going to work like that.
Yeah.
And he's not built like Cam to actually make that happen either. Speaking of Cam, we'll get to him in a second. But I have Kansas City and Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
It's going to be a close one. I would say, of course, Patrick Mahomes, he's going to do what he does. I haven't seen anybody that can slow him down yet, and I don't think we will for a very long time. he's got too many weapons. He's Thanos. Andy Reid is Thanos at this point with all the weapons he has on offense to use.
Mm-hmm.
They get past Pittsburgh, and ready for this? Seattle finds a way to beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl.
Okay. Hey, like I said, it's mid-season picks, man. Anything can change.
This is a fluid pick. Like, it's bound to change probably by the end of next week.
It'll probably change. Yeah, so we'll probably change it each week. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
just as some people say, premature picks. You can't get mad at them, but you definitely gotta admire them.
Do you have any sleepers, like a team that outside of Tennessee? Because I don't even know if you would consider Tennessee a sleeper at this point, because everybody acknowledges the fact that they're the real deal.
They have a bus for a running back. Is that what you mean?
So
they have a bus for a running back. You can't really hide that, man. That is a full freight train coming out of the backfield, and you just can't hide that, honestly.
No.
My sleeper team, honestly, would be Arizona.
Okay.
If they can find a way to improve defense a little bit more instead of giving up 30 points like they did to Seattle, I do see them going a very long progressive path. But you got to find a way to slow down offenses that are high powered.
Agreed.
And that's because it's
a shootout.
Looking back to last week's game, we didn't really touch up much on it. But looking back at the last week's game, Tyler Lockett, that man had 12 receptions for 200 plus yards
with 3 touchdowns.
Exactly, and that dude was doing one-handed catches while being held. You got to find a way to stop the offense without causing penalties, for one, and 2, without giving up 30 points a game. I mean, now granted, I think that was the hardest game that they played the entire season. They lost to the Panthers, but again, it's the Panthers. Kyler Murray just had like an off week that week. But that was probably going to be the hardest game because they do play Seattle twice. But that would be the hardest game up to this point that they've played. And they prevailed. Like I said, it's just you can't just give up 34 points and always expect to win.
That's a formula for failure and letdown. I agree with you on the NFC. Arizona is definitely a sleeper. Kyler Murray is not a quarterback to be slept on. He is the real deal. I know there was a lot of questions about him coming out of college with him being the same height as Russell Wilson. And then the back and forth with him going to baseball and all this, that, and the third.
But even if Russell Wilson does the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Because during spring training, Russell Wilson goes out to the Yankees Stadium because he's – sorry, I just watched a ref eat it on the sidelines. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry, bro. It threw me off guard. He was running down. He was like, yo, is everybody okay? And then just slipped and hit the back of the head. Oh, that was good, bro. Oh, my God. That was so good. Honestly, man, it's – oh, God, that was so good. I lost train of what I was even talking about. What were we even talking about, bro? I lost track.
Arizona being a sleeper. Good grief.
Yeah, man. Like I said, they have 2 top-tier wide receivers, and Christian Kirk is a I wouldn't say elite, but he is a very good receiver. He is good at getting into the open field, making those catches that need to be made. And then also, Kenyon Drake, man, has really shown a huge improvement from his Dolphin days, and that definitely makes me proud, because a lot of people that come out of Miami either a bust or it's rough to get them going. So I'm glad that he finally found his calling in Arizona, and has been able to do what he's been doing.
All right, so we're both in agreement that Arizona is a sleeper pick in the NFC.
Absolutely.
Me personally, for the AFC, if they can right the ship and get some things corrected, Buffalo is a team that people should be paying attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. I Josh Allen is something scary.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is 3rd year out. This is
he came in his same year as Sam Darnold. Either
So two. So this is his third year then.
Yeah.
So I mean, third year. Now, granted, Tom Brady leaves.
That division is wide.
So that frees up your division so much.
Yes.
So now you have. I mean, you have a chance to rule that division for the next 10 years.
Give or take. You still got Bill Belichick up there in New England, which we'll get to in a second, actually.
I understand, but you have a chance to rule that division for the next 10 years. So honestly, man, if they can get everybody healthy, get Josh Brown healthy, get a good run game started, I do believe that they would be the sleeper coming out of the AFC.
Absolutely. Let's see. Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, he's improving. Last year, they made it to the wild card round, lost to Houston, of course, after some boneheaded plays made by Josh Allen, but he has shown maturity and growth.
Hey, you got to give
So,
Deshaun Watson props on those 2 sacks that he avoided when he literally got ran into by 2 defenders and still got out of it like it was nothing. But on a Deshaun Watson note, man,
get him out of Houston.
Yep,
now.
his career's over if he doesn't leave.
Send him to Chicago. They need a quarterback.
Send him to Atlanta. Send him to
anywhere but Houston.
send him to the Giants. Who knows, man? There's so many opportunities. He needs to get out of Houston if he wants to go anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think I agree. There's not much success left for him in Houston because they're so far gone from a Super Bowl now. It's not even funny.
Nope.
I know I brought up the Patriots earlier, but something that happened on Sunday in the Patriot in San Francisco game in midst of that blowout.
You mean Fizzle Newton? Fizzle Newton?
Fizzle Newton.
Ugly. He looked like flat carbonated soda. I mean, that dude fizzed out so fast. I mean, 9 for 15, 98 yards, 3 interceptions, and you get pulled in the third quarter. I don't think I've ever seen Cam Newton pulled out of a game that's not injury related.
That just goes to show, like, now, the question is now, should the Patriots stick with Jarrett Stidham for the rest of the season or give Cam another chance?
Neither.
What, Bill Belichick go play quarterback?
Just let Brian Hoyer go in there and just have a ball. Who cares? Your season's in shambles. Your leading rusher is Cam Newton. Your leading passing rusher is Cam Newton. Your leading receiver is Cam Newton. I mean, it is the New England Newtons. And it's not looking good. Now, granted, I would like to see Jarrett Stidham start this week. I don't know if I saw any news whether who's starting this week. But I definitely, I'd like to see him play. I don't think I've ever seen that dude throw a pass in my entire life.
I've seen him throw a couple passes. He's okay. He ain't nothing to ride home about if you're a Patriots fan.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, they've had, they had their chance. What they should have done, honestly, a couple years back was keep Jacoby Brissett. I think Jacoby Brissett would have been a better option to learn from Tom Brady than bringing Brian Hoyer in as a backup.
Yeah.
But the tank for Lawrence is real.
Oh, they just got that in a bag.
Well,
you just got that.
I'm just saying, man. The tank for Lawrence is real in the NFL, and it's definitely not looking good. And that's all. I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, if you've only, honestly, the way I look at it, man, if you've only attempted 15 passes by the third quarter, there's something wrong.
Oh, true. Absolutely true.
Either you're not stepping up as a quarterback and a leader, or you're doing too much.
It's a little bit of both.
And that's the way I see it. I mean, honestly, I see it as a little bit of both. But it's definitely.
Just a fun fact about the Patriots with Cam Newton at quarterback in the league, they rank 30th at passing, but 7th in rushing.
Yeah, because Cam Newton rushes for 70 yards a game, but can't pass for more than 100.
Offense overall is ranked 27th. That's terrible.
Yeah, 27th out of 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been ranked number 1 or I mean, at least top 5 over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So
That's a big change.
and you know, a lot of people saw it as, oh, Tom Brady was getting old. Okay. What pull this up for me. Where's Tampa ranked right now?
Where's Tampa as far as
Passing and rushing.
Let's see here.
And total, I mean, where are they ranked total offense? If they're
Total
not if they're not in the top 5, I will get off this podcast right now.
No, but they're 8th in offense.
That's fine. But where are they in passing?
Passing? Give me 1 second.
Because Tom Brady has thrown 9 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He threw 5 this past week and 4 the week before that.
Passing rank. They are, I would assume they are, I'm sorry, my computer is being absolutely slow.
Well, okay, so while you're looking that up, I'm just going to say this right now. Tom Brady is 6th on the all-time passing list right now for this year. He's at 1910 yards, 1,910 yards. He is 18 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Russell Wilson's at 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, he's got a QB rating of 102 at the age of 45.
Jesus.
I mean, I just want you to understand that. I mean, my man has a perfect QBR rating at the age of 45.
They're 8th ranked in passing.
That's fine. 100%. That's fine. Like I said, you're not. I mean, Russell Wilson should be number 1. That's a given.
Oh yeah.
Because he's got the most touchdowns, I think, on the year. Yeah, Russell Wilson at 22, Tom Brady at 18 is, and then right behind him is Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, it's a weird year, man. Honestly, it is a weird year. I don't know. It's so hard to say like what is actually going on. There's no way. Okay, no, this is just going in alphabetical order. All right, sorry, I looked up team stats and I had the 49ers at the top. I was like, there's no way.
Yeah, good. I had to fix it too.
Yeah, but I mean, just looking at it, there's a lot of things, man, that can happen this year.
Oh yeah, this league is still wide open. Ain't no givens, not yet, at least. Just real quick before we finish the podcast, give me your MVP favorites for this year for NFL. Let's put you on the spot.
You want AFC, NFC, or you want just overall?
Overall, MVP, most valuable player.
As it sits right now, Russell Wilson.
That's your MVP favorite?
Honestly.
Not much debate there. I agree. Russell Wilson.
There's nothing to even fight there.
Russell Wilson been on something else this year.
Yeah,
I don't know what, but
he has shown so much maturity and love for the sport that you just can't get enough of it, and that's what blows my mind, honestly.
Freaking ridiculous.
Oh,
wow. I think that. Anything else you want to get into with the people before we close this out, man?
Honestly, man, it's definitely a good year to be doing this, man. With COVID, everything happening, this is probably one of the greatest years in sports for so many reasons. Because the way that you look at it now, because so many people were having backlash from fans' perspective, but you take the fans out and your ratings are boosted so high.
Because everybody's watching it.
It truly shows that it's turning into the love for the sport again. And it's not turning into, he kneeled during the national anthem. He marched alongside people who were fighting racial profiling. It's honestly right now looking to why we love sports again.
The whole reason everybody gets into sports, competition, the change, just the whole nine, everything about it is definitely being shown. I completely agree with you.
And like I said, this year's been rough, man. We've had racial profiling, we've had COVID, we've had players testing positive, having to shut down team practices. It is probably one of the hardest years, I think, on everybody in the world. Being a human on this earth, I don't even like seeing what's been going on lately. Again, police brutality is never a good thing. Rest in peace to everybody that just passed away from it. COVID, rest in peace everybody that's rested from COVID because nobody wanted to listen to the rules. But if it's not sports that brings us back together, I honestly don't know what will.
Agreed. Sports is our last hope because nobody's seeing eye to eye, but like you said, sports always brings everybody together.
Absolutely, and me and you, we have our differences on our teams and stuff, man. But at the end of the day, our love and passion for sports is what is what brings us closer. You're like a brother to me, and we've been like that since we met freshman year. So I mean, it's been 7 years. Like I said, we've always had our differences, but it's that fight, that drive to prove that your team is better, is what brings us back together.
Always.
So, other than that, man, let's get into some picks coming up this Sunday. This Thursday, man, the Falcons just scored. It's a 14-12 game right now. I still got the Panthers pulling out tonight. I'm gonna watch the rest of the game after this podcast, but I still got the Panthers pulling it out tonight.
Of course, if you can't beat the Falcons, you're trash.
Who was the only team? Who was the team? Oh, who was the only team that they beat? Oh, they put up that 45 spot on somebody. I think somebody last week.
I bet you it was the Jets.
I honestly couldn't see it, man. Jets at 0-7. That's a terrible. But I'll start you out here. First game of the week. We're looking at Steelers Ravens.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with Baltimore with a 7-point win, despite Pittsburgh being 6-0 and having a hot rolling start. I think coming off a bye, Lamar and the Ravens, they'll be focused, ready for their division rival, Baltimore by 7.
You got a piece of paper? Are we gonna write this down? Or you?
Okay.
I say that just so that we don't have to go back and figure this out. I admire, you as a Ravens fan, I admire their will to come off the bye week. But I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh. I'm gonna let them stay hot. I think Juju's gonna have a big game. I think Chase Claypool is gonna step up big, and I'm gonna give it to Pittsburgh by 7.
Pittsburgh by 7.
Yep.
All right. What's the next game on the docket?
Game 2, man. We got Rams Dolphins. Off the rib, I'm taking the Rams. But Tua does get his first start this week.
Yeah, but against Aaron Donald.
I know. I'm just saying, but he does get his first start this week. I don't think this is a good first start for anybody. I kind of feel bad for Ryan Fitzpatrick getting pulled for him because of how well that he was doing. I mean, he wasn't doing the best, but he was doing better than most of the Miami quarterbacks over the last 4 years.
Yes, absolutely. Including Ryan Tannehill.
Exactly. And once Ryan Tannehill got hurt, that was kind of the end of it for him down in Miami. But I'm taking the Rams by 14.
By 14?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them a big game this. I'm gonna give them a big game this week.
I'm in agreement with you. I have the Rams over the Dolphins in this one easily. I don't know if I would say a 14-point win, just because of the unknown factor of Tua Tagovailoa and how he's going to perform. He may show up and show out and give the Rams something to fight against, but I doubt he'll do much against Aaron Donald. I still say the Rams win by bare minimum a 1 touchdown.
Okay. Game 3 is Jets Kansas City.
Really? Do we even need to?
No, we just
Do
gonna
we
skip
really-
that one. We just
do we
going
really
to take the
need to?
Chiefs, and we're gonna skip this one.
I was about to say.
I got to throw it out there. I'm sorry, I just have to do it. Again, next game coming up, Packers Vikings. We're just gonna both put Green Bay, and we're gonna go about our days.
Right.
The next game, man, Colts Lions.
Ooh.
That's a tough one. Phillip Rivers is looking good, sitting at 4-2 with Indianapolis. But with that win, that comeback win for Stafford,
They're gonna ride the hot hand.
I'm gonna give it to Detroit.
I'm gonna actually go the opposite way on this one. I'm gonna say Indianapolis, like you said. Phillip Rivers is performing well this year. Indianapolis looks good. I'm not seeing any glaring issues with their offense as of right now. And Detroit is kind of haphazard. They just struggled to beat the Atlanta Falcons. Even though everybody ends up beating them, Atlanta still gave them a run for their money. So I'm gonna still go with Indianapolis on this one.
I see. I got to give the only thing I see out of the Colts, man. They had that big comeback win against Cincinnati, but you heard what I said, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So it's honestly, man, I think Detroit's got the upper hand here.
I mean,
but again, you never know what old 9 children Phillip Rivers is going to do. So him and his 9 kids going to have a starting lineup without anybody else. So
fun. Before we go into the next game, just a fun fact: Detroit has lost 6 straight home games at home, and the Colts are 4-2, leading their division. Just some fun facts. So,
hey, like I said, I gotta throw a few odd ones out there, man. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be perfect every week. I gotta throw some odd balls out there.
I feel you.
Raiders Browns.
I'm gonna go with Cleveland on this one.
I am also taking Cleveland. But a bare minimum 3 to 7 points. I'm not seeing anything more than that.
No. I know Baker Mayfield had a good week this week, and he's gonna be feeling himself coming off that comeback win. But I don't see them doing much against the. Excuse me. Wow, I'm talking completely bad about Baker Mayfield. I don't see them doing too much, and on the offensive end, defense is still questionable. And the Raiders and Derek Carr just haven't gotten it together yet, even though they're at 3-3. So definitely Cleveland by like 3 points, 37 points.
I do gotta say this though. Myles Garrett did get AFC Defensive Player of the Month. So just throwing that out there.
Oh, another fun fact for the Raiders: they have allowed 30+ points in 5 of their last 6 games this season. So that's not good. That's not good, especially with the Browns having all those weapons.
Yep. After that, we're looking at Titans, Bengals. I'm just going to throw in Tennessee out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Tennessee, easily, without question.
Yeah, absolutely. Game after that, Buffalo, Patriots. I'm going to go ahead and just take Buffalo on this one.
Yep.
Like I said, these last few games, man, we can just kind of run through these pretty easy. Chargers, Broncos. I'm taking the Chargers.
What's the Broncos' record? I'm looking at it now.
They're both 2-4.
They're both 2-4. I'm gonna go with the shocker and say the Broncos on this one.
Okay, give Drew Lock over Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert pulls it out, brings them closer to 500. Seattle 49ers.
Russell Wilson's not gonna let something like that happen again. 49ers have too many injuries this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I'm gonna go ahead and say Seattle.
So I'm also gonna be taking Seattle. After that, we got Saints, Bears.
If Michael Thomas isn't back, then I'm gonna say the Bears defense finds a way to shut down Drew Brees and the Bears get the dub.
I'm gonna take New Orleans.
You're gonna take New Orleans?
I am. I don't ask me why. I'm just doing it.
All right.
I don't even like New Orleans like that, but I can't. I can't see the Bears. We'll talk about that a little bit next week. I want to see how this week goes. I do want to know, from me and your standpoint, is Nick Foles going to last much longer at starter? But we're gonna get into that after this week. See how he plays this week. Still, I'm taking. Oh my! I don't even want to talk about the Sunday night football game.
But the
Cowboys Eagles. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Philly.
Oh,
Philly,
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't even know who Dallas's third string quarterback is.
Hold on, I can tell you.
Some dude named Dyson. I think his name is Danucci. Dyson sounds like a vacuum cleaner. Actually, Danucci sounds like a puff pastry, man. He sounds pretty soft and sweet. I don't think that he's going to even come close.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember, the Eagles are injury prone, and they've lost a lot of people this season already.
That's fine.
Don't matter.
Monday Night Football, Buccaneers, Giants. So, as much as Tom Brady's kryptonite was Eli Manning and the Giants,
yeah, it's not happening.
I don't see them winning. I'm taking Tampa by. You're gonna think I'm blowing smoke up my butt, man. But I'm gonna give them 21.
Wow, 21 skunk like that?
I'm giving them 21.
I say Tampa Bay wins as well. That's an easy pick. I don't know about 21. I'll give them bare minimum 14. They win by at least 14, 2 scores.
Hey man, you thought the Raiders was gonna beat Tampa last week, and Tampa skunked them 45-20. So
look, I can't win them all.
So, like I said, we have a few differences, man, and I'm definitely excited to see this week. I know a lot of our picks are the same, but when it comes down to it, man, between me and you, it's going to be a good week. This is just a terrible week for games. It's an ugly. It's just, I mean, they're one-sided heavily, and that's what kind of just blows my mind.
Exactly. Like, there's only a handful of games that are split. Like, we split on Baltimore and Pitt, Indy and Detroit,
the Chargers and Broncos, and then the Saints and the Bears.
Yeah, those are the only 3 games we split. Everything else is pretty much a wash or a given. Like, it's ridiculous.
And that's what the NFL's come to, and that's just weird to me. It's weird to me.
Well,
if the Jets win, man, I'm not coming back next podcast. Let's just be honest here. If they find a way to beat Kansas City, I'm not coming back.
There's no, bro. If they find a way to beat Kansas City, I'm gonna quit sports. Anything to do with sports, Madden, 2K, this podcast, I'm quitting.
We will literally be turning this podcast into field hockey. Field hockey and golf. We will be talking about Tiger Woods, how he's golfing from his backyard,
and with his 9-iron.
Like, I mean, honestly, if the Jets find a way to beat the Chiefs,
it's a sad day.
Andy Reid and his shower mirror for a face mask need to find something else to do than coach football.
You can't beat the Jets. You just gotta get fired. That's it. Get out of here.
There's no like if ands or buts about it. Like, say real quick just before we get out of here, just want to give a quick update. It is 14-13 Carolina, closing in on halftime. So it's 2 minutes left in the second, so it is looking like a good game. So this one may be a good game to watch. But other than that, it's been fun. Can't wait to catch back up next week. Definitely. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. Make sure we do have our YouTube up and running. It is under the Elite at YouTube. Be sure to go down there, like the videos, man. We got episode 2 up on there right now. We'll be uploading episode 3 sometime this week. Other than that, again, you can catch us on Facebook at the Elite Sports Podcast. Catch us on Instagram at the Elite. If you have any questions, man, my name's Chad.
I'm Marcus. Thank you for tuning in. Again, like he said, you can hop on YouTube. Our channel is now up. Just look up the Elite. First thing that comes up. Episode 2 is up now. Go take a listen. Episode 3 will be up soon, and we will revisit episode 1 and put that up there as well. You can catch us on Facebook, The Elite Podcast, The Elite Sports Podcast on Facebook, and on Instagram at The Elite Pod. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Hey, one more thing. I just want to give a just everybody out in the world. If you ever hear this, if you ever listen to it, peace, love, and positivity. Those are the three things that I would live my life by. Be nice to your neighbor. Be nice to your friends. Be even better to your family. See you later, guys.
Words of wisdom.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, sorry to keep you waiting. I was lost.